PharmaPhobic is powered by Achieve the Lifestyle, a company dedicated to helping you empower your health, redefine your lifestyle, and all for the health of it. You're listening to PharmaPhobic, where we challenge the state of health in America. I'm Janie, a physician assistant, and I've seen how healthcare keeps people dependent instead of truly healthy.
And I'm Dan, a veteran turned fitness pro here to uncover the truth and explore simple and sustainable health solutions. From big pharma to big food, we're exposing the conflicts of interest keeping us sick and finding better ways to take back our health.
No fluff, no gimmicks, just real talk, real solutions, and a little bit of fun along the way.
Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of PharmaPhobic, where we help you achieve the strongest, healthiest, and most capable version of yourself. This is brought to you by Achieve the Lifestyle, and I'm here with my lovely wife, Janie.
Hi. I didn't know if you were going to say my name.
You're the special guest.
Yeah.
You're always...
No, we have a special guest, Miss Maggie.
Yeah, we won't be able to show Maggie Moo, but she's right here at our feet.
She's staring at the clock.
Staring at the clock. She's mesmerized. Little Maggie Moo.
But Maggie and I have something to tell you.
What?
And we know that you're going to be upset. She got on the couch today with Rolo and I and gave me a kiss.
So, guys, here's the problem. Here's the conundrum that I find myself in. We went and got a doggo because I wanted my doggo. Mm-hmm. Rolo is Janie's doggo. I've been in the picture. I actually
got him 14 years ago today. No, 12 years ago today. He's going to be 14.
He's going to be 14. She's had him for 12 years. I've been in the picture for 7 years. So that is a thing. I swear Rolo still looks at me like, who is this guy and why has he never left? But I'm like, I want my doggo. So we went and get a doggo. We rescued a doggo, Maggie Moo. Okay. We wanted a female because Rolo tends to like hanging out with female. All his battle buddies have been female.
Yep.
And my wife is hijacking my doggo. She is cozying up to my doggo.
I mean, it's weird what happens when you're there and you feed them and take them out and spend time with them. It's like maybe somebody should give a memo to my real father about that.
Woo!
No, but so we think she was abused, and probably by a man, because she seems to click with women faster than men. Mm-hmm. She's warmed up with you a lot, and I think it's just going to take more time.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was you were going to take her to work with you.
I took her twice, and now she doesn't want to go.
Yeah, because she'll like back away from the door, and you're like, oh, guess she doesn't want to go.
Well, I don't want to.
I pick her up, and I'm like, all right, we're going.
I don't want to drag her to work. I want her to like coming to the gym. You know, she's supposed to be a gym doggo. I guess she will be a gym doggo at some point. There are a lot of people in the gym, and they all want to say hi to her and stuff. So I think that might have thrown her off.
Yeah.
Might have been a little overwhelming. But we're going to work on her social connections because that's, part of the health spectrum there. So we're gonna get her right. She's gonna be a gym doggo at some point. I could see her jumping around the boxes and running around saying hi to people in the gym.
Well, she's slowly starting to open up. So she's had her first Zoomies with us in the past couple weeks. So yeah, she'll get there.
I've seen the mini Zooms. Like it's like and then it's done. Yeah. She's a classy lady. So she Zoomies. I just do a little bit, just all good.
Dan thinks she's Cuban.
I do. They found her in Miami. So, and then she's got a spicy Latina attitude. Like she lets you know immediately if she doesn't like something. So I think she might be a Cuban doggo. Might have to talk to her in Spanish at some point, see what's up, see if we get some responses out of her. But yes, personality type, Maggie Moo, quiet, but there's a spicy Latina in there. Okay.
All right, so last week we were going to talk about what we're going to talk about today, but we kind of went off on a little impromptu discussion about sleep, which was great.
Yeah, we went in on the sleep thing.
Yeah.
I think today I got a little bit of we got a rabbit hole to dive down. But first, I want to talk, what are we doing here? What when we record these episodes.
In life?
Like in life. in this planet? What's the point of this? No, this podcast, like we're always, I think we need to like revisit a little bit like what we want to accomplish, and just so people know, and they, I want you guys, like the two people that are listening. Hi, Mom.
My mom doesn't even listen.
I just want you to, hey, share with your neighbor and have them join us on this little quest that we're on here, okay? Because I think we talk about a lot of stuff, and we're going to talk about some rabbit hole-y, tinfoil-y kind of stuff today a little bit. But I think there's a lot of awareness that needs to be created around just how complex and how, what's the word I'm looking for here? How screwed up, for lack of a better word, the health thing is, and how challenging it actually is to stay healthy.
Yep.
And to get healthy.
Right.
And then to stay that way. Because there's so much that really is working against you, whether by design or by coincidence. You know what I'm hinting at? You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay. There's a lot of stuff that's working against you. So a lot of what we do here is really to create awareness, and we're not saying that you have to do all these things or you won't be healthy. I'm just kind of want to shake you by the shoulders a little bit and be like, yo, this thing's serious. There's a lot that's working against you, and you should little by little figure out a way to at least address a good part of this stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's like we have an all-you-can-eat buffet of ways to be healthy, and people can pick and choose what seems most appetizing to them.
Yeah. And then in all of that, we always revert back to really the basics, the pillars. Like, as long as you're holding those up, you'll be all right. You're gonna be all right.
And what I think we're doing in this podcast is spreading awareness and education of these are the things that are working against us, and they may seem kind of doom and gloom, but hey, we're all in it together. And then here are the things that you can do to actively try to decrease the burden that's being placed on us from all different angles.
Yeah, there's a mountain of stuff, because really once you sip from these waters of, hey, what really is going on with the health thing? Once you take a little, there I am with the little whistle. Once you take a little sip from these waters, you start realizing, you start seeing, the scheme in everything. And then it can be an overwhelming feeling of like, oh my God, there's so much stuff that I have to think about. Mm-hmm. But what I want to bring this back to is always like, hey, little by little, okay, it's an elephant. You got to eat an elephant. How do you do it? One bite at a time. There you go. So
I love that quote.
We're going to little by little, figure this out. And that's what the whole journey of this podcast is. Because Janie and I are not there. We're not black belts, a jujitsu analogy by any means in this thing. And the funny thing, if you go with the jujitsu thing, is that when people become black belts, they'll tell you that after 10 plus years of pursuing that, they're like, oh, I feel like I'm just starting.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing with this. We might be a little bit further along, but we're not there. We're figuring a lot of stuff out as we go. And we're just kind of proverbially turning around in the path and shouting directions back at other people that might be kind of lost along their way.
Yeah.
Or they haven't started. That's really who I want to always talk to, people who haven't started, that need to be convinced that lifting weights and eating steak is good for them.
Yes, 100%. And also it's for people who are like-minded with us to realize that it's okay if you don't have it all figured out. The fact that you're just making the effort to do things is over half the battle, I think. And that we want to stress that things will happen in your life. Like, we don't have this illusion that because we're healthy, we're just going to get to, 120 years old scot-free, right? We know that things are going to happen along the way, that there's going to be ups and downs in our health. We're going to have injuries, mental, emotional things are going to happen. But what we're trying to do is build a foundation that's going to be able to withstand all of that. I see a lot of this with people who either have never started or who kind of go off and on with their health. They do like 0 or nothing, right? Whenever anything gets tough, they just revert back to 0. And then when things calm back down, they have to start all over again. And that takes a huge effort, that first step.
Yeah, that
right?
one I've had clients like that.
Yeah.
Like if everything's not firing on all cylinders, then they go with nothing being done. They kind of self-sabotage a little bit. There's a lot of people like that.
And also with this podcast, because I can relate to this, and I think you can too, we want to share with people that sometimes doing everything to be quote unquote healthy leaves you kind of not.
Yeah.
And we talked about that
Yep.
with, CrossFit and like the metabolic meltdown or Orange Theory, things like that from like the physical aspect. But especially with women, we tend to do too much. We have a lot of things on our plate, and then we take on too much. And there is something to be said about slowing things down, taking time to be present, and just offloading some things when you can. And hopefully I think through our real life experiences, the guests we have, and then just reading things, we can help share that with people. So one, they don't feel alone. And also they realize, oh, okay, I'm not perfect, but I don't need to be. I just still need to be pursuing this.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's people that are like, that are walking the path, and they might think, like you said, that they're doing healthy stuff, but they might be working against themselves. Yeah. So I definitely, because we were there at some point. So we might be there in some way still,
Well, like we talked about last time, is you had your sleep study. We did the GI maps. We haven't gotten any results of those back. Have you gotten your sleep study results back?
It's VA. I don't expect to see it for 2 years.
Spoiler alert, he probably just hasn't checked his email.
No, it's not in my email. It's not in my.
But we may find out some stuff there where we kind of have to redirect what we're doing to then achieve better health, because maybe I'll have H. pylori or some overgrowth or undergrowth of a good guy in my gut, and now I need to bring on a supplement and change the way I eat. Who knows? So we have to figure it out.
Yeah, I think that's that's the whole point of this thing. We're resetting, guys. We're like, hey, this is what, in case you forgot, this is what we're doing here. We do go on rants. We're going to punch the air about some stuff. But really, at the end of the day, the goal is to wake some people up, get them on the journey, kind of bring further along those that are on here.
I feel like if you listen to our podcast, you fast forward through our intro, which says that.
You fast forward. I feel like, people might do that. Oh, Maggie Moo's moving. Maggie Moo's redirecting. Sweetie pie.
She's just adjusting so she doesn't get pressure sores.
Isn't it funny to have a doggo in the studio?
It's great.
It's a good vibe. Okay, let's get into this. I got the health news for you. We're going to talk about some weird stuff, and we're going to talk about some names that everybody knows. And some people might think that these people are like, oh, they're doing great. And some other people that are a little bit more in tune, they wear funny hats like me. They might be like, nah, anything that guy touches is questionable at best. Okay. Found this study.
Which Janine's getting a new studio. Let's segue.
Yep.
So,
the aesthetic here, guys, is going to change.
Yeah.
In the future. Janine's moving on up.
You can be sitting at a desk, so when you do your health news, it'll be official.
Yep.
Janine's upgrading. Big time, guys. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So.
But study.
Studio study. Egg intake and the association with a decreased risk in Alzheimer's. Pretty interesting study. So I kind of went through it a little bit first. They separated which nutrients in eggs they think help with preserving cognitive function. Okay, so lutein.
Stop.
How do you say it?
Spell it.
Lutein.
Yeah, lutein.
Lutein. Okay. It's a carotenoid good for your eyes and cognitive function. Okay, I'm trying to like say it normal because I know words like this, I know what it is, but words like this make my accent come out really heavy. So I'm
say it with your flair.
God, lutein. That's how I would say it, but I'm trying to be.
What about the carotenoid?
Carotenoid. Carotenoid. Okay, choline, which is an essential nutrient, impacts liver function. I didn't know that about choline. It impacts liver function, but I know that it impacts brain development, muscle movement, nervous system, and metabolism.
I have what choline does.
Hit it.
Builds cell membranes and neurotransmitters, is used in the synthesis of acetylcholine. Now, a few episodes ago,
There we go.
Dan was like, acetylcholine, choline. And in my head, I'm like, they're not the same. But Dan is right. You need choline to make acetylcholine.
Thank you.
But anyway, I know he's going to want me to say that on the
So
record.
acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter. It's geeky because this is what helps your brain communicate with your muscles.
Correct.
Okay, so if your brain's sending directives to the muscles to contract and relax and all this stuff, acetylcholine needs to be present.
Helps with liver metabolism.
Yep.
Helps with nutrient transport. Can potentially decrease inflammation. And also, this is interesting, controls homocysteine levels in the fetus during pregnancy.
Wow.
Right? Because if the homocysteine levels get too high, that's very dangerous. So choline helps keep them down. So for women, it's very essential for them to have choline in their diet and also supplementation during pregnancy.
Amazing. Eggs also have selenium.
Oh, I wrote down all the nutrients eggs
Okay,
have.
go through it because I know there's like some.
They have vitamin A in the yolks. So we're whole egg team here. Eat the yolk, people.
Don't give me this egg white nonsense. There's nothing in the egg white, guys. It's in the yolk. Okay,
Okay.
keep going.
So there's vitamin A, which, retinoid, good for your skin. B2, which is riboflavin, which is actually good for migraines, okay? Vitamin B5 is in the yolks. B7 is in the yolks, more commonly known as biotin. So your skin, hair, nails, eat the yolks. Choline we said it was super important. So it's found in eggs, but it's also found in shellfish, beef and beef liver, salmon, pork, chicken, legumes or beans, and tomatoes and tomato products. If you're low, I wrote this too. If you're low in choline, you can have issues with metabolizing fat, liver diseases, kidney disease, muscle, nervous tissue damage, and cognitive and memory problems.
Okay.
Also, I'm not done yet. The egg is a little nutrient bomb.
It's the incredible edible.
The yolks also have vitamin D and K2.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Slam dunk.
The popularity with K2 is because K2 helps direct calcium where to go. You need vitamin D to absorb calcium efficiently, but if you have a lot of vitamin D, the theory is the calcium will just go anywhere. Bad if calcium goes on the inside of your arteries. So we want calcium to go to good places like our bones. So K2 can help the little like traffic controller, like New York City style with a whistle and the gloves. Okay. Has chloride, which all whole foods have chloride as well as sodium, iodine, phosphorus, selenium, sulfur, and zinc.
It's a power bomb.
It is.
It's a power bomb.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's got damn near everything.
I think what could also have everything, if not more, is liver, beef liver.
Yeah, liver's up there for nutrient density.
Dan and I will consume beef liver. I know some people eat it, they cook with it, but what's more appetizing? Liver or eggs?
So this is funny because I'm old enough to remember a time when they were telling people not to eat eggs because they were going to give them heart attacks and they were going to shoot your cholesterol up and
that still
put
is
you
a
at
recommendation
a cardiovascular risk.
For people who have known cholesterol issues or who have had a heart attack. They recommend under 2 eggs a day.
Okay.
But that's from the American Heart Association, which...
The AHA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we love them.
Yeah.
It's not like we've eviscerated them here.
But it's interesting. I didn't look into this, though. If somebody has cholesterol issues and a heart attack and they are going to be on a statin, and then you tell them not to eat something like eggs, the ability to synthesize cholesterol, which is not just like cholesterol that we know it as lipids, but all, cholesterol is the building blocks for your hormones, as well as muscle issues, cognitive issues. There's a lot there.
The egg's quite the powerhouse of nutrition. And it's funny because if we get technical here, it's the same thing with red meat. You have these highly nutritious foods that have a lot of, they deliver quite the nutritional punch, right? Crap ton of vitamins, super bioavailable forms too. Not like, oh, your body's not really gonna have a hard time digesting this. Super bioavailable forms of a lot of nutrients in one tiny egg. Meat, liver, things like that. But then they recommend against them because, cholesterol or, whatever. Makes you think, right? Like, why would nature package all this nutrition in this food and then you're not supposed to eat it? I'm just asking questions. I'm just a guy on the internet asking questions.
I said, never mind. It was going to be a joke, but the timing lapsed, and so it's not. And just move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you the drums anyway.
No.
Looking at the study, that's a lot of way deeper. I just had lutein, choline. I knew about selenium and all the B vitamins and stuff, but I didn't know there was K in there. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
And then you see what I'm saying? Real time, guys. We're learning. I'm like, I eat eggs every day. We eat eggs multiple meals a day, every day, but I didn't know that much about the egg. That's pretty cool. So anyway, this study included 1,024 older adults. So everybody was above the age of 80. Okay? 80. Yep.
See, I wish they would start doing studies including a younger population, because our life expectancy isn't 80 on average. It's less than.
Right now it's 76.
Right. And
down from 78. We've said this before.
We're seeing chronic diseases begin at younger ages.
Correct.
And so I wish that they would. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, but in this study, it was over a span of, it was over years. Like, I think they started the study in the 90s, like 99 or something like that. And they
So what, they were in their 60s then, and now they're in their 80s?
No. It's a bunch of 80-year-olds over the years. But because they also did postmortems on a bunch of them, like they analyzed they were doing weekly. Let me lay out the parameters real quick. Okay. So 27% of these 1,024, so 280 people, ended up with Alzheimer's, right? Now, what they found is that 1 egg a week, that's nothing. 1 egg a week or more was associated with a lower risk of Alzheimer's, okay? 39% of the total effects of the egg, according to this study, was attributed to the choline, right? To choline. And then they analyzed 578 of these 1,000 whatever people post-mortem, right? So they donated their bodies to science. Yeah. Well, all these people passed at some point. They were over 80, but over half of them, they volunteered their body to science. Okay. And that's where they basically, analyzed their brain and saw this stuff like, hey, the guys that were eating eggs, their brains just kind of looked better, right? Now, let's lay out the things with studies, right? Because we like to poke holes in studies, because these studies, a lot of people quote them as this. I like to use them as a guide, right? Not necessarily as this is the Holy Grail, this is God speaking to you right now. We don't do that here, even with the studies we like. So let's poke the holes in it, right?
Okay.
They were using questionnaires for nutrition. We know that is quite inaccurate. right? Exactly. They're doing weekly questionnaires of what you ate over the past week type of thing with older people. Exactly. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be problematic because the recall's not going to be great, right?
What did you eat for dinner Saturday night?
I mean, I know what we ate for dinner Saturday night because we pretty much have the same thing. Oh, well, this dinner sticks out.
Yeah.
Because we went out to eat.
Yeah, but it's hard to like, yeah.
You know, but we're pretty regimented, so it's easy for me to recall, and I'm also not 80 years old.
Yeah.
My
No,
memory,
but what I was just trying to say is that most people can't readily recall what they
can't.
ate.
No, they can't. You're right. Even young people can't. I mean, I'll ask a high school kid, "Hey, what'd you have for lunch, bro?" And he's got to think about it.
Yeah.
So, I think he's thinking about it because he didn't eat. Separate topic, and then he's at the gym with me, and it's like he's dragging butt. But anyway, so that's one weekly questionnaires of what they ate. So it's easier, you know, recall becomes a problem, right? I think the best ways to do nutritional studies, and this requires a lot of funding, you know, that's a separate conversation on how studies are funded, but it would be to feed the people, right?
Yeah, or just to have them journal their food. I mean, that could be...
That could help, yeah. Or logging in an app, like, but obviously the study started
in an app,
before.
because it's so much easier to just write 2 eggs with bacon. You don't even have to get into like the brands and things like that, like you do with the apps, like just journaling.
This study started before anything like MyFitnessPal was around, so it you know, but they went with the weekly questionnaire. That's something that I saw as a shortcoming. Another thing that I saw as could be necessarily a shortcoming is the funding. Okay, the funding from this one came from the Egg Nutrition Center. I didn't even know we had such a thing. It's an education division of the American Egg Board. I didn't even know.
There's an American Egg Board?
There's an American Egg Board.
I want to be on it.
They basically do, they like QA/QC, this is military speak, quality assurance and quality control of eggs. Yeah.
Do you think that like their like corporate team building stuff or like egg races like on a spoon?
That would be hilarious.
And do you think they like, I wonder if like they egg each other's houses. Like if they like they're gonna get fired or something.
Hey, listen,
their house.
I went on their website and I was looking through it because I didn't even know this thing existed. But they're like, it's like a quality control board for the production of eggs, basically, and they funded this study. Now, to me that's like a little because you know it's industry.
They're promoting themselves.
They're promoting themselves. It's industry funding, right? However, what did we just talk about? Eggs 2 minutes ago.
There's an active campaign against them.
Not only is there an active campaign against them, but we talked about how much nutrition is in an egg. Yeah. So we can objectively say that it's good luck trying to prove that eggs are bad for you, right?
Yeah.
It's not like Coca-Cola funded the study and then they're trying to tell you that Coke's good for you. And then we break down the nutrition in Coca-Cola and it's like
Coca-Cola infused with choline.
Exactly.
Protects against Alzheimer's.
Exactly. So there's a difference there, but those are the shortcomings on this. Now, let's talk about it. What does this tell us?
That oddly everything we need to live a long, productive, healthy life is of this earth.
I think that's a great one. There's a lot of answers we already have a lot of answers when it comes to nutrition and movement. We just have to kind of pay attention, right? Mm-hmm. We just went through a laundry list of nutrients that you need for proper brain function, proper muscle firing, to get your brain muscle connection right. You need to have a good amount of choline in your system, right? So it just goes to show something like an egg should probably be a part of your diet.
Yep.
Right. And all this little fear mongering about eating eggs could probably be something that you could turn the volume down on. I don't know.
Yeah. And so did they find, it just mentioned they suspect choline was the reason in the eggs that
they're saying, that choline was,
neuroprotective.
that was probably the biggest neuroprotection was coming from choline. in the egg. It also has omega-3. Like if you buy really good eggs, the omega-3 profile is really good. And obviously omega-3s help with the brain as well.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, choline is important in pregnancy, also in early childhood development. And so I stumbled upon an article while I was looking up all the vitamins and minerals that eggs have in a book that I have, and then I was fact checking it with more recent information. And there was a study that for children between 18 and 33 months, so that's a year and a half, and then 33 months is what?
Almost 3 years old.
Almost 3 years old. Yeah. Greater than 6 eggs a week, so about an egg a day, right? Benefited child development.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I know there's people out there with egg allergies. Some have like hard egg allergies. Some, I think they're just, if you buy purely conventional eggs, that might be the reason.
Well, then I think that if that's the case, then looking at all the nutrients an egg has and making sure that you're either filling in that with other foods or a multivitamin, right?
A good multivitamin.
Yeah.
But some people don't like them, like Mom. Hi, Mom. Mom doesn't like eggs. She detests the flavor of eggs. It's crazy because I'm like, we're trying to figure out ways to get her to eat more protein. I'm like, eggs, boom, slam dunk, breakfast, eggs. I personally don't feel like I had breakfast if I don't have eggs.
Right?
I don't feel like I had breakfast, and I love me some breakfast.
Like when we've gone on vacation or something and we've gone somewhere and they're like, we don't serve breakfast. Like if we've gotten somewhere late and I have to get something and it doesn't have eggs, I'm like,
I feel slighted. I feel like they just kind of like, hey, somebody peed in my Cheerios right now.
I'm going to have to have breakfast for dinner because my day, it would glitch out a little bit. We're like,
I just don't feel, so when she tells me she doesn't like eggs, they're out there. There are people don't like eggs. Okay, cool. I mean, I would still figure out a high protein situation to get for breakfast, which you might be looking at Greek yogurt. You might be looking at some of these really good chicken sausages or whatever, cottage cheese, things like that. But I would figure out how to get a high protein breakfast in still. But eggs just make it really easy, right?
Yeah.
Some people are allergic. Some people just don't.
Well, some people still, especially probably when I speak to people ages mid 40s to and up, but I thought eggs were bad for me. Exactly. So it's re-educating people that no, it's okay. You can eat eggs. It's not going to elevate your cholesterol. Now, if you're the person who says, well, I've done it and I'm eating eggs and my blood work shows and my cholesterol goes up, then by all means, figure it out. Maybe doing a mix of all eggs and egg whites. I know some people do that to bump the protein up because they want to keep the fat down. But listen, our bodies need fat, okay? We need fat for production of your sex hormones. So if you care about your estrogen, progesterone, you gave it to me.
I think it's the time of day.
Testosterone, eggs, fats, things like that are going to be very beneficial for that.
Yeah, and then that's an unfortunate one. Then an egg has 7 grams of protein, just about 6 to 7.
6 to 7?
Yeah, just about. So that's a little
4
fun fact.
4 grams of fat, I think.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah.
And so something to consider there, that, you eat 3 eggs, that's a good chunk. You might have 18 to 21 grams of protein there right off the bat.
Mix a little cottage cheese in that, boom.
Ooh,
you're up to 40.
Low-fat cottage cheese, now you're up there. Now you're having breakfast.
Which we need to do a podcast on this. I saw that article I showed you about the association between cancer and consumption of fat-free
dairy
food products. Mostly dairy, fat-free yogurts, fat-free. Yeah.
We have it. Oh, guys, we're going deep. Yeah, we have a couple coming out that we're going to deep dive into some of this stuff. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That one perked my ears up.
If we look at in the history of things, so this came to mind because when I was in Alaska, we went on this riverboat cruise, And we stopped at this old like hunter's cabin, and it was fascinating because it has like a cabin. It's very low, enclosed, tiny windows because it gets cold. And they had these cabins along their hunting trails. But their food, I called it the pantry, where they kept the stuff they caught while hunting, was like you had to take a ladder to go up to it. It was built up really high so not any other animals would get to it. But anyway, they told us about the stuff that they would trap or hunt and all these things, and beaver was one of them. And the delicacy was the beaver tail because it's filled with fat. Okay, and that was very like a delicacy. So fats, and I still think this is true. Like, have you ever, like, like when we go out to eat to the nice restaurants, we get bone marrow, and it's just like, it's like dripping down my face
on the bread,
and it's so good.
Yeah,
right?
when they give you the little toasty and you put
yeah.
Ooh, that's really good. Yeah, that was fire.
Or
that place we went to in Phoenix that we had that ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh, so good.
Yeah. And it's just like when you have pork belly and it has that thing of fat, fat is just
or
good.
Or why a ribeye is more expensive than a leaner cut.
Right. But there's a reason why it's so pleasing to us, and I think it's because it's something that our body needs. Now, you can easily overconsume fat. Fats have more calories per gram than a protein or a carb, which is why like the serving size of nuts is always disappointing. Okay. Or peanut butter. Okay. Just because it's calorically potent. All right. And so, yes, you can overconsume fats, but I don't think we should avoid them. Okay. And, where was I going with this? Oh, heavily processed foods kind of have sneaky fats in there, and or if they're low fat or no fat, but they still taste appeasing to you, we need to know why. So what are they using to get that? Oh, I said it in that mouth feel, right? Of something that's very appeasing is probably something synthetic made in a lab to trick you to think that you're getting something super nourishing, but you're not, and at what cost?
Yeah. So, and this reminds me of a tip that I like to give my clients that I just want to drop it around fats. A lot of people still and we've been here, where we thought like something like peanut butter was a protein source, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we counted that as a protein source. Cheese you got to be careful with. There's one
cheese. Yep. Is it Parmesan that has a ton of protein?
I off the top of my head, I don't know, but cheeses, you got something you got to look out for, right? Fats are pretty calorically dense, like Janie was saying. Guideline with meat cuts too for your day-to-day eating. Obviously, a ribeye is a wonderful thing to eat, and I'm remembering that ribeye that we had in Phoenix. We went to this place with our friends called Wren and Wolf. I gotta give them a shout out because that place was
very good.
It was real. The ambiance was amazing, and the food was. I saw the ambiance, and I was like, I hate it when places look really cool, and then the food might be like a nothing. But no, the food was up there. It matched the decor, it matched the ambiance for sure. And I had this ribeye, and I ate the whole thing, guys. The fat, it was so perfectly cooked that the fatty part just melted in your mouth. It was amazing.
I'm telling you.
Ate the whole thing. And then they give you they ask you if you want horseradish or whatever on the side with it. I might have dipped it 2 times because it was perfectly just made by itself. It had a little, it was amazing. Whatever. So it just goes to show with the fatty thing. Anyway.
I think you just had a moment.
Oh, because it was delicious. If we go to Phoenix again, we have to go there. That place was pretty cool. But what I was getting at is when we pick cuts of meat and all this other stuff for our day-to-day, right? When we're watching, or a protein source for a day-to-day, a rule of thumb that I like to give clients, make sure that the fat content doesn't exceed the protein content, right?
Yep.
So something like a ribeye, you could get there where the fat content is either matches up or might be a little bit higher than the protein content that you're getting from that meat. So obviously, go enjoy a ribeye on a special occasion, but we probably don't want to live off ribeyes every day because our calories are gonna be through the roof off of fat.
Yeah.
Right. You and I learned this the hard way.
Yeah. Should we tell them about what happened?
Tell them the story,
pre-wedding?
what happened to us, because I just, I thought I was doing great, but go ahead.
Well, so Dan and I were gonna get married in September. So September, the end of the month is our anniversary, and so we're trying to, everyone wants to look good for their wedding day, right? And so we're trying to really nail down our nutrition, hit the workouts. Great. What?
I look great all the time, so I don't know what you're speaking for yourself there.
I'm gonna need you to come down a little bit, okay? But we're tracking our food, making sure like we're doing good, and we felt great. Like, and we were lifting heavy. We had had a lot of strength gains in the gym, but I was just like, well, I mean, I look good, but I don't look as defined as I thought I would with what I'm doing. Now, one thing, we were tracking very loosely. We didn't want to be really rigid with it. And one thing we didn't look at was I was just counting the meat we were having for lunch as just beef, right? But unbeknownst to me, Dan was doing the grocery shopping, and Dan was getting this meatloaf mix because it was very inexpensive compared to the beef. And what meats were in the meatloaf mix?
It had veal meat and it had ground beef. It was like...
There's veal, something, ground beef, and something else.
I don't know what else, but I know
I wanted to say it was pork.
No, I don't think it had pork, but it definitely had
Lamb?
veal in it. No, I think it was just like, it definitely had veal in it, I know.
Okay.
But I looked at the price and it was like, it comes in 1.5 pounds. We shop at Wild Fork, which is a pretty nifty, meat only type of place. And they got all sorts of meats there.
Yeah.
Everything, even ostrich and weird stuff like that.
We have our wedding. Our wedding photos are amazing. 2 days before our wedding, Dan pulls like this super heavy deadlift. And I'm like, I'm at the gym working out, but I can't lift too heavy because I gotta zip up my dress, so I can't be swole for my wedding. But we get the pictures back. We look great.
I had to have my suit tailor-made too.
His suit was tailor-made, and it was
I wasn't gonna
tight.
It was tight.
Yeah, it was tight. So when we did the ceremony, I put my flowers down by my feet, and then afterwards, the pastor's like, "All right, pick up her flowers for her." And Dan had to kickstand a leg out to bend over because he couldn't crouch down because his suit was so tight.
The lats, my thighs, just my butt, all of it.
Yeah, and we look back at our wedding photos now, and we're like, we look thick.
3 C's.
Yeah.
3 C's.
We look great.
Now
then after the wedding, we realized, what was the fat to protein of that meat?
So that thing was 18 grams of protein it was 21 grams, something, because they give you the 4-ounce count.
Yeah.
With meat per serving. It was in the 20-something grams, I want to say, 20-something grams. And then the fat was higher than the protein. And when we were at Wild Fork, Janie came with me and she pulled it up and she looks at it at the nutrition facts and she's like, oh, so we're eating hundreds of grams of fat.
Because we were also cooking that meatloaf mix in tallow and eating it with avocado.
Oh my God. With half an avocado too. So we're our calories were sky high on fat. Yeah. But you know what? Hormones were great.
Yeah.
Lifting was great. Joints were nice and snappy. Mood was great.
So then afterwards, we transitioned to a leaner cut of beef, and our body compositions magically changed. So we ended up being leaner after our wedding than for our wedding, which I think was a bit backwards from what people normally do.
We went to your cousin's bat mitzvah a couple months later, and I wore the same suit, and it actually fit the way that it was meant to fit.
Yes.
It was crazy. But anyway, all that to say that we learned this the hard way. Look at your cuts of meat. Look at what you're calling a protein source. Make sure that if you're going to eat it as protein, the fat content or the carb content in some cases doesn't exceed your protein content, right? So
vegetarians get in, vegans and vegetarians get into this because a lot of their protein sources are going to come from either carb or fat sources.
Yep.
So
They're like, oh, I'm going to eat
like
peanut butter.
beans,
That's my protein.
nuts.
Or lentils. That's my protein.
And so you just have to be
And then,
mindful of that.
You know, with lentils or something like that, the payload of protein that you're getting, not a complete protein, bioavailability, we can debate all that. But your protein payload is accompanied by a really high carb payload.
Yeah. So but I mean, look at history for answers. Why do a lot of cultures serve rice and beans together?
Supposedly it makes a complete protein.
It makes a complete protein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming from a place that serves rice and beans together, aka the great island of Puerto Rico.
Where you guys say beans.
I have to say
habichuons or
that
whatever.
if you give me a plate of rice and beans together, I'm gonna be looking for that big old hunk of cow meat on the side.
Oh my!
It's not a full meal.
That's not what we're talking about. Anyway,
I'm just saying. Anyway, but you look at the carb payload of a plate of rice and beans as your protein source, and the protein payload in it, you see the disparity, right? So I'm just saying, it was just a tip. Start judging your protein sources and your thing. Hey, I'm gonna eat this for protein, so I'm gonna have peanut butter for protein. You look at the fat payload, you look at the protein payload, it doesn't pass the test. That's not a protein source, it's a fat source. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of fat sources, we have to get to this, because what goes well with eggs? What do you cook your eggs in? If you wanna live life.
Butter,
right? You cook your eggs in butter if you want to live in accordance with the way that God made this earth to run, right? You don't put Pam on you cook the eggs in butter. Eggs and butter. Bacon fat's great.
Ooh.
Bacon fat is great. But you're gonna cook the eggs in something like that, right? You know, there's some made up stuff out there that people cook their eggs in. Like I tried to cook my eggs in olive oil one time. That was an atrocity. That was not good. I'm twitching a little bit. It just wasn't a good taste. For a while there, I was cooking them in coconut oil. That was all right. But really, the best thing to cook eggs in is butter, right? Mm-hmm. So, have you heard of this new product that they want to drop on us? Carbon butter.
Oh, is this the Bill Gates thing?
Yes, ma'am. There's that name. Billy Gates is back at it again, guys. Stop cozying up to my doggo.
She put her paw on my foot.
Stop cozying up to my doggo.
Hi, sweetie.
So, Janie's cozying up to my doggo. That's my doggo.
Okay.
Anyway, so this carbon butter, backed by Bill Gates, is being developed by this company named Savor, Savor, right? Like savory. They're all about savor. It's a butter substitute that they're making. And they're saying, oh, it tastes just like butter. I mean, you could pull it up on YouTube. All the propaganda on it. Like, it's just like butter. It spreads so easily, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it's carbon dioxide and hydrogen, and they're oxidized together to create medium and long chain triglycerides, right? And then they combine these fat molecules that they created with sea salt, sunflower lectin, natural flavors, and beta carotene to give it that yellow color for the thing. Okay, let's go over this real quick. Natural flavor, guys. You'll hear us pick this thing apart here a lot, and it's a pesky ingredient. It's in a lot of stuff. Now, here's the thing why it raises eyebrows. Natural flavors, when they put that on an ingredient label, it's a stand-in for potentially thousands of synthetic ingredients, right? The percentage of natural stuff that they have to use to create a natural flavor is minuscule. It's like single-digit percentage. Be like, I'm going to use 3% orange, and then I'm going to put all this other stuff in there, and I have something that qualifies as a natural flavor, right? That can be listed as a natural flavor. So when you see natural flavors in your ingredient label, your mind shouldn't go to, oh, this is...
It's not a zest of a lemon.
It's not the zest of a lemon. It's potentially a word they put in as stand-in for thousands of chemical options that they can go to, okay? Same, the other word that's like that is fragrance or perfume. So when you look at your lotions, you look at your soaps, you look at your makeups, whatever, colognes, all this stuff, if you see something listed as fragrance or perfume or whatever, it's a stand-in for thousands of chemicals, right? They could use any combination of those chemicals that they want, and they just list it as that, okay? So keep that in mind when I'm telling you this. But what also do we know? You've read more on this than me. Oxidation. When
Not
something gets highly oxidized, right? Oxidized, yes, oxygen, but I want you to think of it more like rusting, right? Because when something rusts, it's oxidized.
Okay.
Is rusting good? Right. So, and the same thing goes in your body. Not that you're rusting on the inside, but when you start experiencing a lot of oxidative stress in your body, bad things start happening, right? So, we are basically oxidizing, again, hydrogen and carbon dioxide. Yes, what you exhale as a waste product, we're oxidizing that. That's plant food. The plants regenerate it and turn it into oxygen, whatever. But we're taking those molecules, oxidizing them to create your starter, to create some fat molecules, to then add some other stuff to them, to then pass it off as butter.
So I don't know if oxidized is the same, like oxidative stress is when the number of free radicals, because free radicals are not good, exceeds what the body can handle. So that is the term of oxidized stress. I don't know if something being oxidized compounds that. I don't know that, but I'm suspicious about it.
So yes, when we think about like oils in cooking,
right,
and things like that, so let's say you use a bat of soybean oil or whatever seed oil, they fry your French fries in at a restaurant, right? The first time they use the oil, they put it in there freshly.
And then they use it again.
And then they use it again and again and again. That oil is going through a process of oxidation every time. So it is bad in that regard, even down to food.
I was just having this conversation with my brother about, he has really bad allergies, and that our bodies were made to filter out toxins. Like, you can't walk through life or this world and not be exposed to things that are toxic to us, or, something that's oxidized or something, right? But prior to how things are now, it was much less. Now we're being confronted with toxins from every angle and way much more. So just think about it. There's toxins in the plastic lining on the inside of your Starbucks cup that you put hot coffee in and it's heated up, and as you drink it through the plastic top. Okay. There's toxins in your perfume that you put on, your heavily fragranted deodorant or whatever else. There's toxins in the water if it's not appropriately filtered. There's toxins in the air with them spraying whatever they're spraying. Are they spraying pesticides? Is that truck going by? The exhaust from that. There's toxins in our food, little, organisms, mold, whatever that our body can naturally go through. A lot of us are forced to live, like, we've moved into the cities in these apartments where there's not a lot of airflow, so now there's mold around us. Toxins everywhere, way more than we used to be exposed to, and now our body's overloaded. Now we're going to add it into our food, too, through vegetable oils,
mystery ingredients of all sorts,
natural flavors, things like that.
I mean, natural flavors, I'm just picking on that here, but there's all sorts of mystery ingredients in all our food, fake dyes,
and we're not saying that
stuff.
you can go through life and avoid everything, right? Like, catch me living out in the middle of nowhere, right? But the goal is to decrease your toxic burden or the load of stuff that you're confronted with every day where you can, that works into your life. If it's bringing your own coffee cup to Starbucks instead of getting, or wherever you get coffee, instead of getting a paper cup, look, you've decreased that load right there. Okay. Swapping out cooking in vegetable oil, starting to cook in butter or tallow, look, you've decreased that right there. You're still going to walk down the street and be confronted with a bunch of other toxins. But if you offset it, you've now enabled your body to be able to do its natural filtration process as it's supposed to do. our body can do that, not by a juice cleanse. Please don't do that. But your liver. So supporting your liver to work as it needs to work. So therefore avoiding things like alcohol and other things that are toxic to the liver, and doing things to support it by being well hydrated, moving your body regularly, also supporting other ways that your body can naturally detox and get bad things out. Sweating, peeing, pooping.
Sauna.
Yeah, so
Well,
sweat.
I mean, it's sweating. Yeah, but
Just sweat. Move your body. Don't be a virgin. Like, I know a lot of people who are like, I hate sweating. I don't like to sweat. There's a reason we do it, okay? And so it's good to do it. And staying well hydrated so you pee regularly. And if you're not pooping every day, it's not about, yes, you're bloated, you can be uncomfortable, but I also want you to think about the stuff my body's trying to get out because it's not good for me to have it isn't able to come out because I'm not pooping every day. That should be a good motivation to figure out why you're not.
Yeah. So basically, guys.
Sorry, I went off.
Yeah, but don't give in to this sort. Like, don't make it harder than it has to be by allowing these mystery things into your food supply. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, seriously, man. Carbon dioxide and hydrogen? What are you trying? What are you doing, bro?
Bill Gates.
What are you doing? Why don't you just leave the butter alone? Like,
for somebody who's bought up a ton of farmland in the U.S.,
Correct.
why is he trying to make things that don't utilize farms?
You see, now you're thinking like me. That's a valid question. Buying up all that farmland, but you're trying to do stuff that doesn't use farmland. I think he's buying up the farmland so that people can't farm.
Yeah.
That's why I think he's buying it.
Well, did you see the clip that's been going around about him when he did a TED Talk years ago where he said like he wanted to decrease the world's population?
Yeah. He, oh my God. Be like, oh, it's a Freudian slip, or that it's a mix up in his language.
Then,
yeah, okay. Listen,
yeah.
Billy Gates is he's Satan. He's Satan. He might not be Satan. Okay.
Lowercase s.
Let's be serious.
That's trippy right there.
Let's be serious. He's not Satan, but he damn sure works for him. So the thing with it is, everything, these recent agendas that have, surrounding health, that have idiotic initiatives and principles behind them, he's put money into them. And here's the thing, he's given us a fake alternative to a animal-based product when Impossible Meats, that he was behind Impossible Meats, that thing's going under.
Yeah.
It's going bankrupt. So you already know that the meat alternative game, that that game of synthetic foods, it's not taking any hold. So why is this man willing to sink millions of dollars into yet another alternative food company? Okay, after he's gonna lose his shirt on Impossible Meats, or maybe he recouped his investment and he's good to go. It was a quick pump and dump, whatever. But that company is going under. So why are we putting money behind another company of synthetic food?
Well, because I'm sure that there's going to be like some sort of cow flu, mad cow disease, something that's going to come out, wipe out a bunch of cows, and we're not going to have any option.
When we look at the amount of farmland that he's bought, this is in tinfoil hat stuff, guys. You could look this up. He's bought an inordinate amount of farmland. I think he's doing that to keep people from farming, or to grow only the stuff that kind of plays like corn.
Is it peel or apeel?
Apeel, A-P-E-E-L. Yeah, that's another one of Billy Gates' products. It's a coating that they're putting on produce to keep it from spoiling, that you can't wash off. It's a permanent chemical to basically keep your apples and your produce looking all nice and shiny, so that it takes longer for it to rot. And then you're going to...
Or the agriculture tax credit for buying farmland.
That too? I mean,
I didn't know about that.
No, well, yeah, when you buy farmland, you get a tax credit, but in declarative farm.
Oh, because he wanted the tax credit. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, to save himself. But listen, you have to start asking these questions. So the whole thing.
That's too innocent, Janine.
This company, Savor, their whole thing now, if they get this butter in the market, they're looking at 2027. It should be in the market if they approve it. You know, they're good. You know, the FDA is going to wave this thing on through because it's got Bill Gates' name on
If
it.
you guys want raw butter, just let us know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
It's not street legal.
and then they're looking at palm oil and coconut oil as their next thing to find a replacement for. So
Replacements for.
oh yeah. They're gonna.
Is there a shortage of coconuts?
Palm oil is one that's kind of controversial because they have to cut down a lot of trees for it.
I can understand that.
So that one, and really, I mean, you know, it's in soaps and things like that. But cooking with palm oil is not necessarily great. But coconut oil is insane that you're gonna try to replace coconut oil. You know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like the new seed oil industry. That, you know, now that people are attuned to soybean oil and cottonseed oil and canola oil, and people are like starting to question those and kind of reject them, I think that they're like figuring out a way to kind of breathe some fresh air into the seed oil industry and just be like, hey, we're going to make these alternative fats. And here we go again. We're back in 1920, you know, with cottonseed oil, but this time it's fake butter and whatever the hell they call the oil they're going to try to replace coconut oil with.
Yeah.
Insanity. So, guys, here's the thing. If you really want, there's a video of Bill Gates. If you really think that Bill Gates ain't that bad, there's a video of Bill Gates. I think it's a 60 minutes interview. You know what?
I'm sorry. She keeps booping me.
She's giving her paw. That's my doggo.
Okay.
Anyway, there's a video of Bill Gates. I think it's a 60 minutes interview. And they ask him, you know, he's talking about people need to eat less meat and all these things that he's trying to push to save the environment and save the planet, all his, you know, altruistic, good for you stuff that he puts out. And this is the most telling thing ever. He's saying that people need to eat less meat and people need to do this and that. And he's talking about all this stuff. The interview was being conducted at a burger joint in Seattle. And Bill Gates is stuffing his face with a burger while he's telling you that you need to eat less meat. Mm-hmm. Okay? You can pull this up on YouTube. I'm not making this up. I mean, sir, you need to stop eating meat. With a burger in his face. So that should tell you all you need to know about any endeavor that Bill Gates puts his name behind and puts some money behind. It's going to be questionable, guys. Okay, with that in mind, how do we get around this? Because it's pretty daunting. First of all, don't eat stuff that's not butter. Yeah. Okay, we already went through it with margarine. If you're still eating margarine in 2025, guys, come on now. And if your mom's still eating margarine, have a talk with her. Put some real butter in her fridge.
Well, I just think it goes back to at all parts of our life, you know, in utero, early childhood development, as we age, getting the nutrients that are in whole natural foods is what's needed. And I just think something that you can easily fall back on. Like you've said before, look at the label. Can you see what it's like? Do you know what the ingredient is? Can you eat it right then? Okay.
Yeah. That's the takeaway here. Like, this is just, hey, listen, we're just creating awareness, things that we don't want you to fall for because they're going to put a lot of stuff in your face and as alternatives and this is healthy and blah, blah, blah. You know what never fails your health? Food that is as close as possible to the way it is in nature, right? You take a potato out of the earth, you look at it, throw it in a truck, it goes to the grocery store and you pick it up and it's like, yep, this mug was in the dirt a couple days ago.
You take an egg out of the butt of a chicken.
Yep.
It's not dirt, it's poop.
Yep. And then you crack that thing because nobody can make an eggshell and that egg comes out and boom, you have solid nutrition. Okay, so whole foods first. The majority of your eating should be whole food based, meaning single ingredient, you know exactly what it is, type of foods. Worry about the sourcing of them later, down the road. If you're just starting out, oh, is it organic? Does it have to be organic? don't worry about that right now. Just get the stuff that looks as close as possible as to the way that it did in nature, you know? That's all I got for you.
Yeah. And then I would say move your body, get good sleep, stay well hydrated, because all these things help with proper digestion and then getting the bad stuff out that your body's either made or trying to detox out of you in the form of urine, sweat, poop.
Yeah. And then lastly, just stay away from Bill Gates. Just stay away from, listen, if it isn't a Microsoft product, just stay away from Bill Gates. And even the Microsoft stuff, I'm sure we got other tech companies doing better stuff than Microsoft now. Just stay away from Bill Gates. Just don't do it. Don't do it. That's all we got for you guys. Anything you want to close with, Janie?
Nope. If you have any feedback, questions, anything like that, let us know at DM us at Achieve the Lifestyle on Instagram. Our email is info@achievethelifestyle.com. You can always visit our website. If you want to work with us, any of those avenues to reach out to us are open. And
also DM us if you have questions. We love this stuff, like, because people give us questions. If you have any suggestions, questions, whatever that you want to ask us about health, any topic that you're itching to get a perspective on, hit us up, DM us with that. We'll definitely address it.
It will likely inspire a future show, or it's something we can just answer quickly, but then, screenshot it. We'll always ask if you're okay if we do that and share it, because I'm sure other people have questions too. We'd obviously keep you anonymous. But yeah, we love hearing what people are curious about, because either, we at one point were curious about it, or we still are, and we need to look into it more. And so it's good. And something that I want you to do when you hear this, okay, you're going to you click on the little show thing, and it's got like this little arrow and a little envelope thing, and you could share the show with somebody, okay? Send the show to a friend. Be like, yo, these two, they're hilarious, and they're dropping knowledge bombs on this health thing, and I've seen you struggling out there, so you want to listen to these guys and get right, okay? Yeah. Share the show. That's it. Till then, till the next one, you know what I want you to do. Stay pharma-free, guys. Thanks for listening to the PharmaPhobic podcast. If you found this conversation interesting, which I know you did, make sure to follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And also make sure to check us out on Instagram at Achieve the Lifestyle. And if you're interested in pursuing a stronger, healthier, more capable version of yourself, check out our website at achievethelifestyle.com. The PharmaPhobic podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and do not constitute medical, legal, or professional advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before making any medical or wellness decisions. While we discuss pharmaceutical, holistic, and alternative health topics, our content is not a substitute for professional medical guidance.